Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to our EDL Season 3 Week 9 video. We are taking on the Melmetal Militia. This video, I know, is coming out late. I'm very sorry. My microphone got fucked up completely. So I've pretty much had to take a week and a bit to get that sorted and then get back on schedule. This week 9 video should have been dropped a week ago, which means that, and tomorrow I'm going to be dropping my week 10 video, so stick around for that. I actually play that game tomorrow as I'm recording this video. So tomorrow my week 10 video comes back, and then either before this video comes out or after, probably after, I'm going to get back into Pokemon Neo Y. I'll catch up as much as I can, but again, I'm sorry that I missed a few episodes. Again, my microphone decided to just kill itself, so I had to sort that out. I was on holiday while it happened, so I couldn't sort it out for a while, but it's sorted now. I'm back, so here I am. We've already done this match, by the way, so this is going to be post-com. I'm not showing the matchup doc because I've already got the week 10 matchup there, and I can't be fucked to like change it back and then change it back again. So we've just got the team sheet. So we're taking on Melmetal Militia. At the time of this battle being, at the time that I was doing this battle, we were both sitting on 6 and 2, I believe. I think my differential was a bit higher than his was, but Melmetal Militia and Coach Fist to Your Doom is another one of the top teams in the league. His differential isn't too great, kind of like Gorplow, but he's still got a really scary team. He's been doing really well for himself this season. We've both pretty much locked in a playoff spot. We're just fighting for a top 4 spot. So the winner of this game pretty much has the better chance of getting a top 4 spot with 1 week to go. So let's just get into the matchup. So he has a Clefable, which is this beautiful bastard right here. Clefable is a super bulky fairy type with 2 fantastic abilities. Unaware means that it ignores stat changes in general, and takes just normal damage, and magic, and it gets Magic Guard, which also, which means it doesn't take damage. It only takes damage from attacks, so it doesn't take rocks damage, doesn't take toxic damage, etc, etc. It gets a number of things. It can do a number of things. It gets stealth rocks, it gets setup, it can sweep with like Calm Mind or Cosmic Power, Stored Power, something like that. It can Calm Mind sweep as well. It gets some coverage moves, namely Flamethrower, to hit steel types that would typically wall it, and it gets psychic moves to hit poison types that would typically wall it as well. It gets a bunch of cleric options, namely Wish, Heal Bell, stuff like that. It can heal itself back up without Wish. It gets it gets Moonlight, and I think it gets Soft Boiled as well, but I'm not too sure about that. He's got a Stack Attacker, which is the best Trick Room Sweeper in the game, with base 13 speed and a massive attack stat of 131. This thing hits like an absolute truck with Gyro Ball. It can adjust its defense stats so that its attack is higher than its defense, and with its ability Beast Boost, it can get its attack increased every turn. Which makes it a really efficient Trick Room Sweeper. And it can really tear through most teams as well. He's got a Chandelure, which is a really powerful fire and ghost type wall breaker, with a base 80 speed stat, which is fantastic. Like probably one of the best speed stats in the game, considering that allows it to outspeed most, if not every, wall. It can run Specs, it can run Scarf, it can run Boots and some sort of heat, maybe like Inferno Blunder Policy. But it can do it mostly just breaks through teams with its 145 special attack stat, and its Flamethrower Shadow Ball Dual Stab, which is one of the most efficient dual stabs in the game in terms of breaking potential. He's got a Yanmega, which is a super fast sweeper and or breaker. It gets the ability Tinted Lens, which boosts up power, the power of not very effective moves on a Pokemon. It also gets speed boost, which increases its speed every turn. That makes this thing really, really threatening, and it can be really tough to deal with. You kind of really need priority or something that can take a hit. He's got a Dragalge, which is a super duper bulky dragon and poison type, one of the best tier 4s in my opinion. It gets loads of coverage moves, as well as the ability adaptability, which increases its stab bonus to ×2 instead of ×1.5, increasing the damage of its dual stab, Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, Sludge Wave, stuff like that. I think it also gets the ability Poison Touch, or Poison Point, or something like that. So it can poison shit, which can be really annoying, but it's typically brought with adaptability. He's got a Cryogonal, which is a pretty good low tier hazard remover. It gets both Defog and Rapid Spin. I guess that's kind of situational, whichever one you pick. It gets Recover, so it can heal itself back up. It gets Dual Screens, as well as Hail and Aurora Veil, which is always a possibility. And it also gets decent ice moves, like just standard Ice Beam, but also Freeze Dry, which is super effective against water types. So water types can't really come in on it. He's got a Mega Venusaur, which is my personal favorite one of my favorite Mega Evolutions, particularly to use in Draft League. It is insanely bulky. Because of its thick fat ability, it's only got 2 weaknesses in Flying and Psychic, which make it really, really tough to take down. It can put shit to sleep. It can heal itself up with Leech Seed and Synthesis, as well as Giga Drain. It also gets DLC Earth Power, which means it doesn't have to run attack investment to use Earthquake, which can be problematic. It could be good. I don't know. It's really situational, but it can do that. He's got a Raikou, which also gets DLC Scald, as well as Aura Sphere, so it doesn't have to run Rash in order to use Aura Sphere. This thing is a really, really bulky, well, not really, really bulky, but it's a really, really powerful special attacker. I've never actually used it, but it's got 115 special attack and, yeah, 115 special attack and 115 speed, as well as decent bulk. It's got pretty decent special defense and HP, so it can take hits, typically run either Choiced or Calm Mind. Calm Mind always being a possibility, so it can set up in someone's face and then go and sweep them with its ridiculous speed stat. He's got a Conkeldurr, which is another bulky Pokemon that I've never actually used before. It's really bulky on the physical side in particular, but with its 145 attack stat and Guts boosted moves, which particularly Facade, that's the main one, as well as just any other move that it has. This thing hits like an absolute truck. It's really, really difficult to switch into. It really is, especially with its coverage. So it's not easy to revenge kill either, considering its bulk. I think it's got 105 attack. Sorry, HP. Yeah, there it is, 105 HP. So it's really hard to switch into, and it's really hard to revenge kill. It normally takes down 1 or 2 things with it as it goes, but it's really, really tough to deal with. He's got a Greninja, which is a super fast water and dark type that I have used in PBL in just the previous season, so you can kind of already get a feel for what it can do. It can set up spikes, it can set up T-spikes, it can run a number of special attacking moves, and it also gets viable physical coverage, namely Gunk Shot, Rock Slide, Shadow Sneak, stuff like that. Also acrobatics is possible. So it is definitely a serious threat. It also gets Water Shuriken, which is a signature priority move. Well, not necessarily signature. Excelgor gets it, but you know, it's Greninja's move. So it gets priority. It gets a priority move, which can be sort of tough to deal with. And last but not least is Sandslash, which is another one of his hazard removers. I think he's only really got 2. His 2 most reliable hazard removers are Cryo and Sandslash. But Sandslash can get rid of hazards, and it can set them back up with its own Stealth Rocks. It doesn't get recovery, but it can hit decently hard with Earthquake. I think that's really all it does. I think it does get some setup. It gets like Sword Stance and some shit. It gets some decent sandstorm-related abilities, but really what it does is set up rocks, clear rocks, be a decent physical wall, and hit shit hard with Earthquake. So that's the team that he's got. It's a really scary team, and you can clearly see how it's pretty good. It's easy to tell how it got to him to a 7-2 record, or 6-2, 7-2, 6-2 record, I think. I don't know. We're taking him on this week. Because we've both locked in playoff spots, we decided to have a bit of fun with our battle, and we made it a meme battle. So, what we agreed upon is that we'd bring our tier 1s, we bring some heat with our tier 1s being Clefable and my Mew, and then we bring our lower tier Pokemon going up from tier 5, just so we can bring some Pokemon that don't usually get the spotlight on either of our teams. And we bring memes as well, is the other thing. So I actually didn't realize that Greninja was a tier 3 and not a tier 2, so I didn't expect it to come. I thought the 6 that he was bringing were Sandslash, Cryogonal, Dragalge, Yanmega, Chandelure, and Clefable, and obviously the 3 that I was bringing, the 6 that I was bringing, you will see in just a moment. I was torn between 2 options for the 6th Pokemon being my tier 3s, and I eventually settled on 1, and you'll see why. It was a really, really fun set. In the battle, all the meme sets were showcased, I think, which is fantastic. That's really what we wanted to do. We wanted to show off our heat, show off our ideas, and it also means that if we do face in playoffs, we can have a serious battle. We don't have to rematch, rebuild all our serious sets, because there is a decent chance that we face Fist in playoffs. So let's get into the team that we've brought, and we're kicking things off with Z Metronome Mew, Normalium Z Metronome Mew with our Roost, Heal Bell, Toxic as our other moves on the perfect EV spread. This really is just a bit of fun to run Z Metronome. What Z Metronome does is that it randomizes a Z move as opposed to a regular move. So you get one of any Z move. So that was a bit of fun. There. Roost for recovery, Heal Bell to get rid of any status, and Toxic to Toxic them if we get really bad luck and we can't actually hit them. We have a way to beat them anyway with Toxic Stall. So yeah. Yeah, this was a very fun set to bring, and I definitely had a lot of fun with it. Next up is Herbs and Skices. Oh, by the way, we changed our nicknames, so all of our nicknames hint to other sets. If you can try and piece together which of my nicknames for which of my sets in the comments, if you can. I mean, it's not that hard, but just do it anyway for a bit of fun. So we've got Herbs and Skices. The Go-Goat we're running Metronome, Rollout with Defense Curl, Sub, and Earthquake. The whole set is really just Defense Curl Rollout. What Defense Curl does is that it increases the power of Rollout, so it does double the damage that it would usually do after you use a Defense Curl. So if you click Defense Curl, then Rollout, it does insane amounts of damage. And with Metronome, every time I use Rollout, it does more damage. So it's just more and more and more and more piled on damage, coming off the back of a max attack adamant boosted Go-Goat. We've got enough speed to outspeed something. I honestly don't remember what it was, and the rest in HP, so we can tank some hits. We decided to bring Substitute just in case. It might help us get that set up, and also Earthquakes for coverage for Stack Attacker. But then I realized during the battle that Stack Attacker was never going to show up, and so it was kind of useless. So that's Go-Goat. Next up is Death by Glamour. Blunder Policy Chinchino with Q-Charm. We're running Calm Mind, Hyper Voice, Focus Miss, and Thunderbolt. Max Special Attack Modest with enough speed to outspeed Cryogonal. I think... No, not Cryogonal, because I didn't think he'd run speed. It was something else. But enough speed to outspeed something. I think it was Yanmega. Anyway, this was a really fun set. Focus Blast, of course, has a 70% chance to miss. So if I miss it, I get a Blunder Policy boost, so my speed is raised by 2 stages. So I basically outspeed everything if I miss a Focus Blast, which is very likely to happen because it is Focus Blast. But if I can get a few Calm Minds off, Hyper Voice can really tear through his team, which is a lot of fun for everyone. And then Thunderbolt is covered to hit the Chandelure, because otherwise I had nowhere to hit the Chandelure, and Chinchino doesn't really get the best special coverage, so that's really all it gets. Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, Hyper Voice. Anyway, next up is our Power Herb Noivern Randomize Me Puppy. Power Herb Infiltrator instead of Frisk, so that we don't know what item he has, because I want to keep it a surprise. Memes are memes, and I respect, I don't want to know what his meme sets are before he actually uses them, you know? But we're running Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Herb Sky Attack, Power Herb making Sky Attack hit on the first turn instead of having to charge, and Brick Break for coverage. Max Attack Adamant instead of Jolly, because I forgot that Greninja was a tier 3. My bad. But this set is really just a sweeper. If we can get the sweep off, that'd be so heat, it's so much fun. If we can't, it's chill, I don't really care, but as long as we can flex like Herb Sky Attack, I'm happy, you know? Next is Keep Calm and our Specs Piloswine with Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, Earth Power, Ancient Power, Max Special Attack, Modest, enough speed to outspeed something, and the rest in HP. Not much HP, but that's okay. I decided to bring Specs, Pylo, because Ice Beam and Freeze Dry actually put in a decent amount of work against his team, and while I do want to meme with him and have a lot of fun, I also want to win. So, like, you gotta bring viable sets that have a chance to work. There isn't really much to work with on Piloswine. His its moves pool isn't really that great. You really only bring the same Piloswine set every week because that's all you can really do. But I decided to bring this. It was this or Sand Tomb Toxic Stall set, and I really didn't want to do that. So I decided to bring Specs instead. Excuse me. So I decided to bring Specs instead. Have a bit of fun. See how much damage it can actually do. 240 is not that high, so we'll see how much it can do to Fist. And last but not least, they see me rolling Mienshao with Leftovers and Regenerator, Sub Attract, Toxic and Drain Punch, Max Speed, Max HP. This one's really self-explanatory. If I can, I click Attract, infatuate the opponent, and just be a real bitch. So, really just Attract, Toxic, Sub, to stall it, Drain Punch for recovery, switch out for recovery as well on Regenerator, Lefties, Sub, so I can keep getting health back for that longevity. But if I send this thing on the opposite gender, I can Attract it and then just be a real bastard. So that was a lot of fun. Anyway, those were the sets that I was bringing. I really didn't care if I won or lost, but at the same time, I also kind of wanted to win so I could get the top 4 spot. Yeah, let's just jump right into the battle. So we got into the battle, and this is where I saw, oh shit, Greninja. Greninja is a thing. He didn't bring Chandelure. He brought that instead. So here we go. So I led with my Mew as he led with Dragalge, and of course I went for the Z Metronome right off the bat. I ended up getting Black Hole Eclipse, which did a decent chunk of damage, and he Toxics me, and because he's a poison type, Synchronize doesn't work back, which is kind of annoying. So now I think I go for the Metronome again, because I forgot that I had Heal Bell. So I get the roleplay, and I get his adaptability as he sets up a sub. Then I go for another Metronome, because I'm just spamming it at this point, and I end up getting Psy Strike, which is kind of heat. I break his sub, of course, as an adaptability Psy Strike would normally do, to anything, and he goes for a bounce, which is kind of weird. So I see the bounce and I just switch into Pylo. He misses the bounce, so it doesn't really matter, but we're in with Pylo as he switches into Cryo as I go for a Freeze Dry, which didn't do too much, but Cryogonal is a very specially defensive Pokemon, so that actually did a fair amount of damage to a heavily specially defensive invested Pokemon. So as I switch, he goes for the Hail, and I realize this is a Hail and Aurora Veil set as I take some Hail and Toxic damage, switching into Mew. He then does set up the Aurora Veil as I Toxic it, but that doesn't end up mattering at all, because the very next turn, he explodes on me. So we both go down. I still got to show off the Mew set, he got to show off his Cryogonal set, so we both had a lot of fun with that. But he fucking blows up his cryogonal, and then we both go down. So that was that was pretty funny. Anyway, he goes. Oh, my bad. He goes into Clefable. Next, as I go into Mienshao and I set up the substitute, as he goes for a Sing, and he ends up putting me to sleep, which is kind of annoying. So I'm asleep with a sub up, and he goes for a belly drum. So I realize, oh shit, he's a Sing subset. But I'm behind a substitute. Sorry, he's just a Sing set. I'm a subset. So I'm behind a substitute, so I'm kind of safe to just keep clicking moves until I wake up. Sing does go through sub because Sing is a sound-based move. Sound-based moves bypass substitute. So he's just setting up in my face, and then he goes for a play rough as I'm still asleep, which is kind of annoying. I decide to go fuck it and stay in because, like, I'd been asleep for 1-2 turns, so chances are I would wake up this turn. So I do wake up, and I get another substitute off as he goes for another Sing and puts me back to sleep, which is annoying. At this point, I kind of just say fuck it and stay in, and he play roughs me again. Like, I want to wake up so I can show off this set, but at the same time, I don't really care if he knocks me out. I wake up this turn, and I do get the attract off this time, and as he goes for another Sing. So since I'm a female and he is a male, I'm able to do that. He goes for another Sing. Again, I think Sing's like a 55 or 60% accurate move. Or some bullshit like that, and he puts me to sleep again. Anyways, he's attracted, so he's immobilized by love while I'm sleeping and trying to wake up, and this happens for another turn or two before I do eventually wake up again. I think I should wake up. Yeah. I wake up now, I think. Yeah, I do. And then I go for another sub. He's still infatuated, which is really, really funny at this point. As you can see the chat down the side, this is too good. I get the toxic off, and then I realize, oh shit, he's magic guard. It doesn't actually do anything, so I go for a drain punch now. That does a fair amount of damage actually, which quite surprised me. But he finally breaks free of attract and goes for a Sing and hits it again. So now he goes for a drain punch. So he's got Drain Punch himself, and I switch into Noivern on the Drain Punch. I then just go for the Sky Attack to try and knock it out, and I do. Didn't get the Dragon Dance off, but I still got to show off this set, and he got to show off his. And then he reveals in the chat he hit every fucking Sing because he was Blunder Policy. So if he missed, it was Blunder Policy Sing. So if he missed a Sing, he would get +2 speed, and he'd end up being able to sweep me, which was the funniest thing. It was like, it would have really worked, but it's hilarious because he hit every single Sing, which meant that I could show off my Mienshao set, and I could also show off my Noivern set. So we had a big laugh with that, and thank God that it didn't happen because we could keep the game going. Because we both had more sets that we wanted to show off. So he sends in Sand Slash and on the Noivern, and I switch from Noivern into Piloswine as he goes for a Curse. I just say fuck it and go for a Freeze Dry, and I one-shot it. So that thing goes down. He then sends in Yun Mega as I switch into Mienshao, but he is Endure, and then he goes for the Swords Dance to increase his attack. So he's so at this point I'm thinking he's probably Swords Dance, Reversal, Endure with some like Salak Berry or something, which is a set that I'd considered bringing for a Yun Mega in another league that I was once in, so I definitely knew what this set was all about. I think Fist is the one that actually recommended it to me. He then reveals Steel Wing, so he goes for that. It does a decent amount to Mienshao, but it doesn't kill, probably because I'm max HP. I go for another substitute as he goes for another Steel Wing, and Toxic does a bit more damage. Unfortunately, we're both female, so Attract doesn't work. So I just go for the Drain Punch to try and get some, get a bit of chip on it as it knocks me out with a Steel Wing. He takes a bit more toxic damage, and then I go into Chinchino and just Thunderbolt it, and it goes down. So we knock that thing out. He then goes into Dragalge, and I decide to stay in and Calm Mind because I can, and he goes for a Toxic on me, which is perfectly fine. This is the fun bit, I think, because then I go for another Calm Mind as he sets up a substitute. But what he doesn't realize is that Hyper Voice is also a sound-based move, and also that it actually gets Hyper Voice. So I click Hyper Voice and I knock out the Dragalge through the substitute. And then all he's got left is Greninja. So he goes for the Power Up Punch with Greninja to boost his attack, as I just go for a Focus Blast and miss, obviously. And then I get knocked out by Toxic. If I went for a Thunderbolt there, I probably could have killed, but I figured, you know, have some fun, go for the Focus Blast. I might be able to, I might live the Power Up Punch, I might live from Toxic, but I also have more sets to show off. More sets being Go-Go. So I end up going into Herbs and Skices as he goes for a Substitute. I then set up a Defense Curl and go for the rollouts. So he taunts me, which is perfectly fine because I go for a rollout and break his Substitute on the first turn. He goes for an Ice Punch, but I roll out again and almost knock it out, but unfortunately Ice Punch will knock me out before I can do anything else. At that point it's fine. I end up going into Piloswine. He Power Up Punches, doing like just under 50%, and I finish him off with an Earth Power. And that's the game. Clef probably should have swept that game, as Fist rightly points out down the bottom there. But it was a very fun game nonetheless. Everyone got to show off all of their sets. Noivern still hasn't died yet, which is fucking amazing. Noivern is unkillable, apparently. Excuse me. We both got to show off our sets. We both had a great time. That win put me up to, now we can probably go back to the dock. That win put me up to 7-2 plus 16. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but good for us, Clay actually lost his first game last week or the week before. So if he loses again, then we can actually sneak up past him. Since his week 9 match is running a bit late, so we can actually sneak up past him and hit second place. If Koala slips up as well, we can hit first. But honestly, I'm fine with top 3. As long as I finish in the top 4, I'm happy. At this point, Fist is currently sitting in 4th, but Spooks also has a game to go with a much higher differential, so we can sneak up into 4th as well, which would be really problematic because I don't really want to face Spooks at all. I really didn't want Spooks to make playoffs, so no offense to Spooks, I just didn't want to face you again because you whipped my ass. But then again, I wasn't really switched on in that game. Whatever. I'll be better prepared next time if we do face again. But that's our week 9 battle. Tomorrow I'm going to be dropping our week 10 match, hopefully. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Pokemon related content. Again, I apologize for my absence, but I am back. My video schedule might get a bit patchy because I do have university starting in 2 weeks. So that's going to take up a fair bit of time. I might have to record less, but we'll see when we get there. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. And I will see you guys in the next video.